Hello walkers, and welcome back to City Walks, the channel where I take you around interesting places and hopefully share some interesting and cool sights. Today we are actually back above Bozeman, Montana, hiking the M Trail. I haven't filmed this hike in a number of years, but I have filmed it. I want to go ahead and show you one thing before I start walking. There are multiple ways up to this M, which is up here and hidden by snow. This is the steep way off down in this direction. We are not going to take that route. We are going to slide around and go this way. It is today 36 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 degrees Celsius, 12:30 p.m. on a Sunday, right around 12:30, I think I said, in December. And I hope you guys all had, at least in the States, had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving, but I did pick up a cold, and I wasn't feeling up for a walk in this new winter weather we're having. So I did skip last week. I apologize for that. Excuse me. And I'll try not to sniffle too much on this walk. What else? Well, I want to thank our Patreon supporters today. But first, I just want to talk about the view here, as I've sort of been swinging you around. We're looking out over Bozeman in this direction. You can kind of see the monochrome dark area with beyond that snowy ridgeline. And then in the background are I think that's the Madison Range, sort of Spanish peaks rising up. And then to the left here are the Gallatin Range. And if you look down here, you can see kind of a circular area. That's the parking lot where we're going to end up. And that's the road from Bozeman out to Bridger Bowl and Bridger Canyon. We're in the Bridger Mountains right now. I want to thank our Patreon supporters. And without your help, this channel would be, one, a lot less fun, and two, a lot more expensive. So I appreciate the monthly, I think it's $5 support from all of you. It really is appreciated. And of course, thanks to everybody that has given a one-time donation through Coffee and PayPal. And you can find links in the YouTube description below. But I also wanted to say that I've recently written a book, or finished writing a book, finally. As you may know, if you follow the channel for a while, last year in May of 2024, my son and I went to France and rode our bikes across the country, about 800 miles, 900 with all the 900 plus with all the side tracks, side quests. And I wrote it up as sort of a how-to. And if you want to find it on Amazon, a little self-promotion here, you can. I'm trying to get this gimbal to work here. Hold on here. I also want to show you, here's another shortcut. You can go that way. And I was thinking about going that way, but I think, because it's nice to go through these trees, but we'll go through some trees as well. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Bike Schlub. Exactly How I Got Off the Couch, Rode Across France, and You Should Too, by H.H. Harrison. If you're a paying Patreon member, I would love to send you a copy of that. So go on to Patreon if you want one and shoot me your mailing details privately, please. And I will shoot one out to you. It's not high literature. It's a lot of how-to and in the section of where we traveled and that sort of thing, and a budget breakdown. So it was kind of fun to write up, and if you're interested, I'd love to share it with you. So please reach out that way. What else? I'm going to be quiet here in a little bit. I do want to show two things. You see how this trail is obviously snowy. It's pretty hard packed, icy in places. So I'm going to tilt you down here. So hold on. I'm wearing these, what people would call micro spikes, although these use a spring coil. These are yak tracks, and they're fairly affordable. I don't know how much they cost. They're not too bad. A variety of styles and makes and manufacturers. Very handy out here, even though I somehow grabbed two different sizes out of the bag, and neither one of them are mine. I think one is my wife's and one is my son's. So they're squishy a little bit around my feet, but they stretched out and they're working, and they make this a lot more pleasant walking along this slope here. I think it was about 10 years ago, maybe, there was a big fire that started off to our right uphill and swept down over the other side of the ridge and took out a bunch of houses, unfortunately. And so there was a sign back there at the second shortcut that said there were burn hazards, burned area. Just to let you know that. If you bring a dog up here, especially in the summer, bring some water. There's not any water up here, and it can get pretty hot, so I just encourage you to do that. What else? I would also ask you guys, if you're interested in watching more of these walks, which I hope you are, you can find them and search for them by location and walk time on citywalksvirtualtours.com. And then on Facebook and Reddit, I also have a Reddit subreddit, but on Facebook I post to City Walks Virtual Tours for All, a group, an open group, various articles and other walks and my own walks, and I encourage you to go and share walks that you're enjoying, any articles you might find about the benefits of walking, or I don't know, walking adventures or whatever, walking related. I encourage you to do that and share those with myself and others. And I'm trying to build a little bit of a community there. It's growing slowly but surely. So, and with that, I think I'm going to just walk and enjoy the ambiance for a little bit. These micro spikes are especially handy in a little section like this. It's not very steep, but it's steep enough that you would probably slide if you didn't have them. I'm also enjoying the sort of the clickety of snowflakes and needles and that sort of thing falling down through the trees. It's very peaceful. This is a fairly popular trail with dog walkers, and I've seen, I think 3 dogs so far on the walk up, and it took me about, well, let me just say, we're going to lose about 700 feet of elevation getting down from the M to the parking lot, and it took me, I think, a little over half an hour to get up to the top. I wasn't going very quickly. My lungs are not in the shape they should be. So there are steep parts. The shortcuts are steeper, as you would expect, and but it kind of winds back, serpentines back and forth, trying to maintain a gentle slope. You'll also see a lot of runners out here often, who boggles my mind how they can do this, but they run up and down maybe more than once. Here's where that second shortcut comes down. College M Trail number 511 and 512, as you can see from the signs here. And that's a nice little walk through the trees. But I wanted to give you more content time. So, if you have Any preferences or requests, please put them out in the comment section. I do read all the comments that make it through the YouTube filters. So please be nice, because I like nice comments, but it's okay to offer some critique and preference as well. I do listen to those, and I solicit feedback a lot of times, and I like to get that feedback as long as it's constructive. And so please feel free to share your own experiences out here or in the winter trails, winter woods. I know a couple of viewers are back east and have in New England area and have some nice winter trails back there. And also any mistakes I might make, or just adding to the conversation, trying to create a little community here. Off in the distance, west of Bozeman, I see a little sun has peeked through the clouds and shining onto the valley below. There's actually a high wind warning today in Bozeman and Livingston, and while in Livingston it was definitely windy, here it's, at least in this little nook, it's pretty calm, I say, as a big gust of wind comes through. You can tell the trees are disagreeing with my assessment. Look at these berries on the juniper tree. A nice food for critters all winter. Bitter food, but food. I was hearing some birds earlier, and I think they were chickadees. I've also seen some sparrows and magpies that tend to stick around in the winter. I think flickers or sapsuckers also stick around, but don't quote me on that. That might be a little bit of a misnomer, although I did see one the other day, so who knows. All right, we're looking west now, almost due west, I think, and shrouded by clouds, I think, are the tobacco roots. Little range out there on the other side of the Madison River. On the lower section, they have a few benches, and I think you would have seen up top they had a few benches up there as well. I'm using a DJI Osmo 3 Pocket, or Pocket 3, creative bundle with the microphone, and a lot of people ask about that. And I'm just really impressed with the way it handles wind. I do have a little wind dampener on the microphone itself, but I think it has some software in there as well that really does a fantastic job of blocking the wind feedback on the microphone condenser. I think that's what it is. Not perfect. A lot of times it'll get little bits of peaking here and there, but let me know if you think I'm wrong. But it does so much better. I've been doing this channel since 2017, and the equipment and the technology has gotten so much better over the years. And I think that's probably why one of the reasons you're seeing so many other walking channels come up. There is a big learning curve though, of how to make it work right and getting all the things to sync up together. But it's fun. It's a good reason to get out and walk. And I enjoy sharing these places with people. I genuinely do. And it like I said, it gets me out of the house, gets me out walking on the trail. I just did some data analytics on my channel for the last, 8 years? 8.5. And it came back that the best videos or the most popular videos are mountain scenery, so check on that. And also cities that are not maybe on the beaten track, the main tourist destinations. And I think Bozeman still ticks that box as well. It's certainly very popular. It's grown by leaps and bounds. I've talked about that in other videos. And it's gotten on a ton of best of lists and magazine articles and all that sort of thing. So, but it's not New York and LA and San Francisco and Paris and London. Here's that is a J of some sort. I don't know if you can kind of see it right there flicking around. I believe that is a J, like not a Clark's nutcracker, but a gray J maybe. I would love if this little camera had a zoom capability beyond that was optical, not digital. The digital zoom is not great, in my opinion. But there's often times like that where I'd love to just punch in 3x and 4x and try and capture and share some of that stuff. There was this spring I was on Seuss Creek, and there were some moose about 100 yards away, and you could kind of make it out, but it would have been better to have a new lens. They say they're going to come out with a Pocket 4, hopefully this coming year, and there's all sorts of rumors about what that's going to involve. I moved out here in 2003, and at that time, I don't think there were any houses on this near slope here. Sorry to swing that too quickly. As the popularity has grown, people have come in and bought up the land and built their fancy houses, and more power to them. And it's this sort of, I think about this over on our side of the range as well, the pass. Everybody wants to come out here and have a wonderful, beautiful view, and I cannot complain. I can't fault that, right? I moved out here in 2003. But eventually they all buy up little parcels of land and build houses, and then the view's gone. And that's a shame. So hopefully Bozeman's done a pretty good job of mitigating what they can with the growth. Here's another trail. This is the Bridger Foothills Trail, number 534. And if you follow that, and here's a warning about the burned area, you follow that along and it'll get up to several other different trailheads. And there's also, if you continue on past the M, you can go up to Baldy, and all along the ridge, there's an annual race, the Ridge Run, that goes from Sacagawea Peak to the north of here, all along the ridge, 20-something miles. Brutal race. Ends up down at the parking lot. Anyway. There's some sunshine in the distance. That ridge in the middle distance here, it has a massive house up there, is called Drinking Horse, I think, a little more off to the left. And you can hike up, I'll show you when we get around the bend here, up to the top of that. It's a short hike, but pretty steep, and gives you a view out on the other side towards Bridger Canyon, which is really nice. I also want to commend Gallatin County for the bike trail they've built out basically from the parking lot here all the way back into town. And it's a nice paved trail for biking and jogging and walking, etc., separate from the traffic, which is really, really appreciated. That bike tour in France, almost the entire route was separate from traffic, and it was awesome. Made biking so much more of a pleasure. You can see it. Well, it's actually further over to the left, but we'll see it. Another bench. Hi there. There's a runner. Impressive. I don't know if you can hear that. There's some magpies up in there, which is also a member of the jay family, and the corvidae, which is jays are corvids. Love walking around a corner like this and getting a big reveal at the distance. Maybe not a big reveal, but kind of opens up. This person has hiking poles. Highly recommend that in the winter. Pretty handy in the summer too, actually. Hi there. Here's a pupper. Hi there. No interest. Hi there. Hi there. All right, so that little peak over there is where you end up on the Drinking Horse Trail. Here's the bottom of another of the steep routes, shortcuts. 512. I was not flooded, but had a few memories come back with the, I don't know, just the rock type and the grass here and the trail. This is one of the first trails I hiked when I got to Bozeman, and just sort of, it's different than over in Livingston, and reminded me of those times. And it was kind of pleasant, actually, to be away from a place, because we don't really come over to Bozeman that much, and then come back and revisit it after a time. Ooh, there's a flicker. Hi there.
Hi there.
Hi there. You can hear the crunchiness of the icier path because it gets more traffic down low, and probably more sun, more melt. It's kind of neat how these benches are made out of, a lot of them are made out of just cut pieces of log. I don't know if I meant to mention this up at the top, but I think it was over Halloween, maybe. Some people, I don't know if they stole it or if it was a promo thing, but a local Sinclair station, which they often have these green, not plexiglass, I'm looking for fiberglass. There's some wind. Some green fiberglass dinosaurs, brontosaurus looking things. Or should I say, are they brachiosaurus now? Anyway, and it's like 6 feet long or 8 feet long, and some people took it on a little adventure up to the top of the M and put it up there. And I think it might have made national news for a bit, for a hot second. It ended up being taken back and restored, but no real malice there. Probably inconvenient to the owners, but I don't know, some good fun mischief, fairly harmless. There's a flicker. Nope, that's a robin. Huh. I think that's a robin. Maybe it's a towhee or a junco. I took a birding class in 2004, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. But I've forgotten a lot of the birds that we learned. Here's some more pooches. Pups. Hi. Yeah. Hi there.
Hi.
Hey. Hey. I'm actually surprised these trails don't get more erosion with the thousands and thousands of people that hike them every year. Forest Service and I think the Gallatin Valley Land Trust maybe do a very good job of maintaining them. And such a nice asset to have right here, right just outside of town. Super easy to get to. Here's another pooch. Hi there. I don't know what kind of bird that is. If you do, that let me know. I'm curious. If I weren't filming, I'd try and get out my Merlin bird ID. I think they might have a bird call recognition software or something. Surely there's an AI app for that now. The sun is breaking through. Look at that. Oh, here's a little fella. Hey there, pup. How are you? Hi there. Hello. There's a golden retriever. That's the steepest route that it's taking, and I suspect that they're just not going to end up going on that route, but I could be wrong. Here's the parking lot off to the right. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I will take us down to the parking lot, but before we get there, thanks for joining us, or me. I enjoy sharing these with you, as I said, and I will enjoy sharing more. Hi there. I'll enjoy sharing more as we go. I'm not sure where I'm going to be able to film next, but it'll probably be somewhere in Montana. And we'll share maybe some more mountain views, maybe some more snowy winter weather, hopefully some sunny skies. But we will walk when we walk. I hope you find these useful. If you do, please share that with me in the comments section. Let me know how you're using them, how they're beneficial to you. I always appreciate hearing that, and helps me make these a little bit better. So thank you again so much, and I will see you again soon. Happy holidays to everybody, and until next time, keep on stepping.